Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're okay. I'm also fine. Today, I want us to take a look at who between Babu Owino and Honorable Sakaja will win the Nairobi seat come 2027, assuming that Babu Owino goes for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat in 2027. If that is some subject you're interested in, I urge you to stay tuned. And if you're watching for the first time, please take a moment, subscribe to this channel so that you get notified whenever we upload similar videos. Ladies and gentlemen, all the governors who have served in Nairobi, that is since 2013, have served for one term. Kidero came, won, served for one term. He lost in a re-election against Mike Sonko. Of course, Mike Sonko was impeached, and Sakaja went into the race against Rigathi and won. Sakaja is going to defend his seat come 2027. Of the many candidates who have expressed interest of vying in Nairobi, one is prominent, and that is Babu Owino, the current MP for Embakasi East. Babu Owino is not only the harshest critics of Governor Sakaja, but also believes that he will and has everything it takes to defeat Sakaja and then modernize Nairobi. Before we look at the strength or what will help one over the other, let us take a brief look at how both gentlemen came into politics. And let us begin with Honorable Sakaja. We started hearing about Sakaja around 2007 when he was in the Vijana na Kibaki lobby group. This was a lobby group that was trying to convince young people to help re-elect Kibaki. That was 2007. Of course, you know what happened in that particular election. It was very contested, but this gave Sakaja a platform to really make a name for himself, because moving into 2013, Sakaja was already a party chairman. He was the party chairman of TNA. That is the party that came together with URP of Ruto to form the Jubilee coalition that won in 2013. Following that victory, Sakaja found himself as a nominated MP, one of the youngest nominated MPs. During that time, Sakaja did a lot in terms of legislation, and it is said that he was one of the people who contributed the most legislations during that term. And this endeared people to Sakaja, so that by 2017, he went for the Senate seat and he won convincingly. Having won the senatorial seat, Sakaja didn't stop. He showed his ambition to be the governor, and the fact that Sonko was not allowed to contest or defend his seat gave Sakaja a room. He went against Rigathi and he won convincingly. Currently, Sakaja is one of the youngest governors in this country. That is how Sakaja came into politics. I said brief history. Let us look at Babu Owino. Babu Owino's politics started becoming apparent during his days as the Sonu leader. He was so dominant there that he was christened the Mugabe of Sonu. I think he became the Sonu chair for a very long time. He has a record that I don't think anybody has broken Babu's record of being the longest serving Sonu chair. After that, Babu Owino joined politics. He vied as the MP for Westlands and lost, after which he joined ODM. And in 2017, Babu Owino went for the Embakasi East seat, which was remaining vacant anyway, because Omondi, who was the MP, had already given up on politics. So Babu Owino saw the opportunity, went there, vied, he won narrowly. But in 2022, he defended his seat, and Babu won convincingly. That is how Babu came into politics. He's serving his second term as the MP for Embakasi East, while Sakaja is serving as the governor for Nairobi. So in terms of hierarchy, Sakaja has really moved very fast. He started as an MP, went as a senator, and now a governor. Babu Owino has been a student leader and an MP. But then, that is who these people are. So what is their strength? Like, what is working for these people? Because Babu Owino and Sakaja share a lot in common. From the look, even if you were to take a look at how they came into politics, these are very young people who have really done a lot within a short time. So, what is their strength? What do they share? What do they have that is working for them? Like I said, both are still very young. Sakaja and Babu Owino are what you'd consider youth. So that is really working for them because it means these people can dominate our politics for the next 50 years. They're both street smart. Babu Owino and Sakaja are street smart. And when I say street smart, these are people who know how to play their game. Because for Babu Owino to be where he is in a very competitive party like ODM, and for Sakaja to be a governor in a city where his tribe actually is not even the majority, these people are street smart. They know how to play their games. And of course, both are go-getters. They are not the kind of people who will sit down and wait for opportunities to find them. They will look for opportunity, and where there is none, they will create it. These are very gifted political players at young age, I must add. We've looked at how these gentlemen got into politics and where they are. We've also looked at their strength, shared strength. Now, let us look at what would have been their path to victory if things remained the same. A lot has changed in the political arena since 2022. But assuming that things remained the way they were in 2022, what would have been the path to Sakaja's victory? Very simple. Sakaja was just going to rely on what got him elected in the first place. That is the Kikuyu voting bloc, add a few Luyas, a few Kambas, a few Luos, and some Kisis, and get elected. Remember, Sakaja is the only Kenya Kwanza leader who was elected at county level. Other Kenya Kwanza candidates flopped. Wanjiru did not win the Senate, and Omanga, of course, lost the women rep seat. Sakaja got votes even from Azimio, and that is what got him elected. And so if things did not change, if nothing had changed between 2022 and now, Sakaja would get easily re-elected by depending on what got him elected in 2022. What about Babu Owino? For Babu Owino, if things had not changed, what Babu Owino would have depended on would be what got Sifuna elected, because Sifuna also got a lot of votes. So that would be the Luo voting bloc, add Kambas, Kisis, and Luyas. That is what got Sifuna elected. And if Babu relied on that, Babu would still have another advantage. Some disgruntled Kikuyus would have also supported him, and that would have given him a victory. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is not how things are today. A lot has happened since the elections of 2022. For instance, immediately after he was elected, Sakaja took a different political path. He decided to bring in Azimio people into his government. This is something that the UDA people did not take lightly, and they saw it as a betrayal. But for Sakaja, his argument was he found himself in a county assembly that is predominantly Azimio. And so if he wanted most of these things to work, if he wanted to pass budgets, if he wanted to ensure there is peace so that he can deliver, so that these people don't waste time trying to impeach him from day one to day two, you see, that changed things because Sakaja now was friendly to Raila Odinga, who he was not friendly to earlier. And this immediately made him an enemy of one Rigathi Gachagua. And the Kikuyu support base started seeing Sakaja as a traitor, somebody whom they put into power, but who has now decided to work with the enemy. And so slowly by slowly, Sakaja started losing the Kikuyu vote. That is what happened for with Sakaja. Sakaja now changed allegiance, is now more pro-Raila than he would be pro-anybody. In fact, they are very close with Raila Odinga as of now. The hope is Raila Odinga endorses him so that he inherits the Luo vote, the Kisii vote, the Luhya vote in Nairobi. And then add a few Kalenjin and some disgruntled Kikuyus. Sakaja is persuaded that combination gives him victory in 2027. For Babu Owino, things also changed. Ever since the elections of 2022, has always complained of being neglected, of being ignored in the parliamentary leadership. So anytime Azimio has a chance to reward somebody, they have always bypassed Babu Owino, and so Babu Owino didn't like this. Out of this feeling of being betrayed, Babu Owino decided to kind of rebel with Raila Odinga. And so Babu Owino found himself sympathetic to the likes of Gachagua, which put him at loggerheads with Raila Odinga. So that even when Raila Odinga said that that they are supporting broad-based government, Babu Owino would call press conference and say he will never support that. So he has totally disagreed with Raila Odinga. And the other day, he made it very clear that he's not very happy with how Raila Odinga is accommodating Sakaja. He's seeing it as betrayal, considering that he's saying that he sacrificed a lot for Raila. He has stood with Raila when it mattered the most. And now Raila is rewarding somebody who has never supported him ever since. In fact, Babu Owino recounted how Sakaja has never supported Raila Odinga even a single day, compared to him who has stood with Raila Odinga all along. So you see, Babu Owino understandably is angry. But in that anger, he chose to side with Raila's enemy, that is Rigathi Gachagua. His hope is Rigathi Gachagua drops his desire to have a Kikuyu as a governor here and endorses him as the gubernatorial candidate. That gives him the Kikuyu voting bloc and the Kamba voting bloc. That is if Rigathi and Kalonzo form a coalition and the Kalonzo is the candidate for 2027. So with Kikuyu, Kamba, and a few disgruntled Luos, Babu is also persuaded that he has a path to victory. We have now looked at what is the current path to victory. We've compared the initial path to victory for Sakaja and the current path to victory for Sakaja. Initially, Sakaja was to depend on what Kenya Kwanza had and win. Now, that is not how things work. ODM and Kenya Kwanza are now in coalition, which should make things easier for Sakaja. However, the Kikuyu voting bloc has left. Babu is seeing an opportunity of the Kikuyu voting bloc that has left, and he has joined that bandwagon where he believes Rigathi might endorse him, and he gets the Kikuyu voting bloc as Sakaja gets the Luo voting bloc. It's just an exchange somehow. So, who wins? Who wins? First of all, for Sakaja, he should really pray that Raila is willing to abandon Team Wanyonyi, because Raila has made it publicly clear that he preferred Team Wanyonyi even to Igathe. And so in 2027, it was a done deal. He would give his blessings to Team Wanyonyi. That endorsement alone makes Team Wanyonyi a front runner. But you never know. So that's why I'm saying Sakaja should really pray that Raila Odinga endorses him instead of Team Wanyonyi. Because if Raila endorses Team Wanyonyi, chances of Sakaja's re-election become very slim. Because what voting bloc will he now depend on? Remember, he is depending entirely on the Luo voting bloc come 2027. And if Raila endorses Team Wanyonyi, who has been in ODM for the longest, chances are that majority of Luos will vote for that Team Wanyonyi. And Sakaja's chances of re-election will be very slim. The same goes for Babu Owino. Babu Owino is depending entirely on Rigathi endorsing him for Nairobi, because chances of Raila endorsing him for Nairobi are very slim. You have seen how Raila has treated Babu. Any opportunity that he gets that you would ordinarily think you would reward Babu with, he doesn't do that. He would rather give it to somebody else. And also something that complicates things for Babu Owino is his relationship with the opposition leader of Uganda, Bobi Wine, which is not something Museveni is happy about. And Museveni is very, very influential in this region. So when he asked that Babu Owino be disciplined at home, I tell you that ODM will not give Babu Owino any chance. So Babu Owino's fate lies with Rigathi Gachagua. The question is, will Rigathi Gachagua, who has promised Kikuyus that is going to correct the mistake they made in 2022 by having somebody who is not their own to lead, is he going to go against that? Because he has promised that he's not going to allow someone else who is not their own, who is not from Murima, to lead Nairobi. In short, he has said he's going to propose and support a gubernatorial candidate who speaks Kikuyu or from Mulima. Babu Owino must really pray that he changes that, because if he doesn't, Babu Owino's political future looks very dark. He doesn't have a political future as a governor of Nairobi, because if Luos are told to go for Team Wanyonyi or for Sakaja, Babu Owino, without the Luo voting bloc behind him, and now without Kikuyus, let's say they are going for their own, they are going to vote for one of their own, Babu Owino's political future will be dead. But then you are like, the picture you are painting is that these people are not very safe, politically speaking. And yes, that is what raw politics is. We paint for you the real picture. If Raila does not endorse Sakaja and the Kikuyus are already gone, his goose is cooked. The same for Babu. If Rigathi does not support him, and let's say Luos are gone with somebody else, he is also done. But the person who has the highest chance is Sakaja. And here is why. Should ODM and Kenya Kwanza have an MOU or a coalition, kind of, I am persuaded that they are likely to give Sakaja Nairobi because of the friendship he has inculcated with both the president and Raila Odinga. Chances are that team would be told, just defend your seat in Westland and let Sakaja serve his term, then you come and you serve in 2032. I think that is what will happen. That is what is likely to happen. As for Babu, the picture is very dull, because I don't see how Rigathi, who is obsessed with Mount Kenya supremacy, is going to abandon the likes of Gakuya for Babu Owino. But then you never know. If that happens, Babu Owino has a fighting chance. Sakaja has a chance, but it depends on Raila picking him over Team Wanyonyi, which is most likely. Babu Owino also has a chance, but it depends on Rigathi ignoring the likes of Gakuya and other people from Mount Kenya who are interested in the Nairobi race, which is very unlikely. But should it happen, Babu also has a chance. So what is my take? My take is Sakaja should ensure that both Raila and Ruto have endorsed him. Sakaja should ensure that he has the endorsement of Raila and Ruto moving into 2027. And number two, he must deliver most of the promises he made. Because if he has the endorsement of those political giants, that puts him as a front runner. But then there are people who really care about services, and they are increasingly becoming many. So Sakaja must find a way of showcasing the things that he has done. And I'm glad he's doing a lot, though Babu will greatly disagree. But he has a few things here and there that he can point and say, I have done this, I've done this, I've done that. And so that is my take on Sakaja. He must get the endorsement of the president and that of Raila Odinga and be the candidate for whichever coalition that is going to be formed. And he has a chance of winning Nairobi. For Babu, my take is simple. Humble yourself under Raila Odinga. Defend your Embakasi East seat. Sakaja retires in 2032. You take over the governorship of Nairobi. Alternatively, pray hard that Rigathi endorses you, because that is the only time you will have a fighting chance in Nairobi Gubernatorial Race. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I think. What do you think? Do you think Sakaja has a chance at re-election, or you believe Babu Owino has a better chance to take over as the next governor of Nairobi? Let me know what you think in the comment section, because like I told you, this is just my opinion and I don't have monopoly of ideas. So I want to hear from you. What do you think on this? Is Babu going to win, or is Sakaja retaining his seat? Let me hear from you. Otherwise, if you found value in this video, don't forget to like it and share it with friends. And if you want to watch more about my advice for the Honorable Babu Owino, watch this video.